What's up, everybody? So today we're going to be asking the question, are the EU making a Brexit mistake? For a while it appeared the EU was ready to negotiate with Boris Johnson, but today we read that the EU have said no, and that the deal is overwhelmingly unlikely. There's been so much speculation in the media today that both the UK government and the EU are positioning themselves to avoid blame for whatever happens from this point, whether it be an extension or a no-deal Brexit. The EU should consider very carefully that Boris Johnson has managed to receive support not only from the DUP but also from the rebel Tories who lost their whip over the Ben extension legislation. The EU should not want to give Johnson a believable excuse for a no-deal Brexit. Boris Johnson has come up with a reasonable proposal, and the out-of-hand rejections goes to prove that the EU was not serious even to engage with the idea of a dual border, one for customs and one for regulation, which may be the only realistic way to bridge the differences over the backstop. The DUP, rebel Tories, hardline Tories and even some Labour MPs are all willing to go along with the Irish Sea solution. In a phone call this morning, it is reported that German Chancellor Angela Merkel has said that Northern Ireland would have to stay in the customs union and align with it forever to get the deal done. Boris Johnson stressed to her that the UK believes they had put forward a reasonable new deal, but with no desire to engage on the EU side, and this demand on Northern Ireland staying in the customs union, a deal is essentially impossible. This does mean that the EU are taking a new position in this and changing the goalposts, so a deal does seem impossible at this time. The Prime Minister has put the ball in the EU's court and is suggesting that it is the EU that are being intransigent. If the EU doesn't do a deal shortly, then we leave without a deal, a source in Number 10 said. Another unnamed source from Downing Street told The Spectator magazine, this government will not negotiate further, so any delay would be totally pointless. We'll either leave with no deal on the 31st of October, or there will be an election and then we will leave with a no deal. French President Emmanuel Macron got involved, obviously, and he told Boris Johnson that his offer was not even a starting point. And then Boris Johnson warned him back, don't be lured into the mistaken belief that the UK is staying in the EU. Unfortunately, the EU is seeming to take its cues from the Remainers, who are not the government, but also are hopelessly splintered, as discussed in my video yesterday. The Telegraph is reporting that Boris Johnson is now preparing to launch legal action against the Brexit extension bill. While this doesn't really have a chance of succeeding, the point of it is that it's a political move. He is showing those that who inside this country have conspired to stop Brexit at all costs. It is even suggested that Boris Johnson himself may give evidence himself to the court. What appears to be a chaotic strategy has the sole purpose to demonstrate that he is doing his best to deliver Brexit. He may not get it done in the end, but he will certainly be seen as doing all he could to push it through. So it is now likely that the EU does not agree to a deal. Boris Johnson will be forced, with some public show of martyrdom, to sign the extension letter, which will leave us in limbo for further months. He would most likely win any following elections, and we are in the position that the Remainers and the EU did not want. A no-deal Brexit will occur. The EU appears to have misjudged UK politics. Opinion polls show a widening lead of the Tories over the opposition parties. And an opinion poll in the Observer also showed that Labour has regained its lead over the Lib Dems. Brussels is underestimating the trend in the UK, which appears to strongly favour a no-deal Brexit. The chaos in British politics is benefiting Johnson more than it benefits the opposition leaders. With each and every court battle, we think that Boris Johnson is going to consolidate his political position. Now, it appears that by attempting to take no deal off the table, Remainers may just have done the opposite, and also some lies have been exposed. So Labour, the SNP and some of the expelled Tories did not want to block no deal. They wanted to remain. And the second one, if Ireland will not go along with Johnson's offer, then it would never go along with anything. This exposes the backstop for what it really is, a lie to keep the UK in perpetual limbo forever. So where are we now in respect of the government of national unity? What will the Remainers do next? Well, the rebel ex-Tories will not go along with a Parliament takeover. Joe Swinson and the Liberal Democrats have repeatedly ruled against a caretaker government led by Jeremy Corbyn. Jeremy Corbyn refuses to support any caretaker government unless it's led by him. And there is now actually Parliament support for the deal proposed by Johnson. So what do you think? What's going on? And by the way, this is my girl Edna. She isn't well today, so after I took her to the vet, she's been in a box sleeping in my kitchen tonight. I hope you wish her well. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching this video. Like, share, subscribe if you appreciate what we do.